Some people overgive but they struggle to receive. Some people over-receive but they struggle to give. The imbalance of both of these things will cause scarcity in your life. This disbalance will not allow you to manifest the things you desire. To enhance that energy of receiving is to tell yourself, I'm open to receive in all and every way that is aligned to my highest good. Hello abundance queens and kings, welcome to Creating Inner Abundance. I'm Pooja, and in this episode of Creating Inner Abundance, I'm going to talk about the art of receiving, the missing key which is needed in order to create a life of abundance and also to have an abundance mindset. So without any further ado, let's get started. First of all, what is receiving? In order to understand the art of receiving, it is important to understand what receiving simply means. Receiving means accepting. How willing are you in terms of receiving and accepting? Not just in the physical terms. If you're saying to yourself, yes, I'm accepting, I'm ready to receive $10,000, it is a totally different story. When I talk about receiving, I'm talking about how willingly do you accept mentally, not physically but mentally. Our willingness to receive something is directly correlated with our ability to accept it mentally. If you are not able to see yourself mentally succeeding, or if you're not able to just digest the information, the testimonials, if you read someone's success stories and if your mind is not able to digest it, and if you're doubting it, you are not able to accept it mentally. If you're saying to yourself that you are ready to receive $10,000, you're ready to make $10,000 every single month, but on a mental plane, you are not in the capacity or you are not willing to receive that amount of income in your life, then there is a gap there. What does this mean? This means that you have not yet mastered the art of receiving. You don't know how to receive yet. Even when I'm speaking here in the now, when I'm sharing this message with you, if you are not able to receive it, you will not hear the words I speak. You know what you'll hear? If you are not in the receptive mode, you will be wondering about something else. If I'm talking about abundance, and if I'm talking about a certain thing with you, you will be thinking about a tree or a bird. If I'm talking about abundance, you might be thinking about fashion, about makeup or something else. Even in the comment section, you will see that happening. Someone who has received that information will say, thank you, I received this message, it was helpful. Someone who does not receive the message will be like, can you talk about something else? Can you talk about your makeup? Can you talk about fashion? So they will be talking about something else completely out of tangent, which is not even related to the video. So first of all, I hope you can get the right message that I'm trying to communicate with this episode. That's the starting point. Make that decision to receive, and whatever I'm going to say now, really pay attention. Just get your pen and paper and write those notes down, because those pointers will help you to master the art of receiving. It may be small steps that you take, but it will compound over time and give you the result you need. Trust me. The first thing that we struggle with in the art of receiving is the balance which needs to be there between giving and receiving. Most of us are disbalanced in terms of receiving and giving. Some people overgive but they struggle to receive. Some people over-receive but they struggle to give. The imbalance of both of these things will cause scarcity in your life. This disbalance will not allow you to manifest the things you desire. Out of this equation of receiving and giving, let me first talk about giving and how do you balance this equation in terms of giving. First, let me talk a little more about receiving. In order to receive, you have to open your mind to receive. That is the number one step. Are you ready to receive, first of all? In order to receive, you have to open your mind to receive. How do you do that? First of all, you need to open your mindset to receive. You need to have an abundance mindset. You need to believe it to your core that there is an abundance of resources, of wealth, of all the things that you desire in your life. Don't believe anyone who says there is a lack of opportunity, there is a lack of resources, there is lack of this and that. You need to put that in your mindset that there is an abundance of resources and you can get absolutely whatever you desire. So first make that belief concrete that you are open to receive, and you will only speak the words of abundance, and you will not speak anything that limits you or causes you scarcity. Because you know what? You invite what you talk about in your life. You invite what you think about in your life. You invite what you feel about in your life. So be careful of those things. That is the number one thing that is stopping you from receiving. So master that belief of abundance in every aspect of your life, in terms of how you think, in terms of how you speak, and in terms of how you feel. Secondly, talk about what you desire to God, to your higher self, to the divine source, and not to anyone else. You know why? Because the divine source is the source of all creation. If you are talking about your desires to people, they are just channels. They are channels for abundance. They are channels for the wealth, the prosperity you are trying to receive, not the creation. They are not the creator. So speak your words of desires, speak your desire of receiving and whatever you want to manifest in your life to the divine source, to God, to your higher self, or whatever you may address it as, and not to people. So in order to receive, we need to balance the equation of receiving and giving. There is basically two equations, and the disbalance of either of them will hinder the process of receiving. Let's understand giving. How do you give? And how do you give and give in balance so that your equation is balanced? The first thing you can do to strengthen your giving power is by giving to God or giving to the divine source. How can you give to God? How can you give to divine source? You can start giving to God by remembering them in times of joy, in times of success, but also in times of sorrow and pain. Remember God and pray to God in every aspect or every stage of life, not only in the bad times, but also in the good times. Second thing you can do to give to God is to set intentional time in the morning for prayer, for reading scriptures or books that enhances your connection with God, and meditation. You can give to God by strengthening your connection and your bond with God. The second way in which you can give is by giving to yourself. How can you give to yourself? And remember that giving to yourself is not selfish. You first give to God, you give to yourself, only then you can give to someone else, because you can't pour in someone else's cup when your cup is empty. You can only give it to someone when it is overflowing. So you need to decide, you need to make the decision to give to yourself. How do you give to yourself? You give to yourself by taking care of yourself. You can take care of yourself physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. In all senses, you need to strengthen your connection with yourself. Take out time every day to take care of your fitness, your health. Take care of your mindset by reading good books and empowering yourself by listening to good content out there, listening to good things, by going to the gym, working out, eating nutritional meals, and focusing on your health, your career, and everything. Because until and unless you don't do that, you are just neglecting yourself. Most of the time, what we do is we overgive and we don't think of ourselves, and we burn out in the process. We become bitter, we become resentful because we are not taking care of ourselves and we are giving it to someone else from a place of resentment, which causes disbalance in the equation. Now let's move to the third way of giving. and we need to focus on this as well, is by giving to someone else. There are so many ways you can give to someone else. You can be of service and be a part of charity and donate to someone who is needful. Be part of charities where you can donate in terms of time, in terms of resources, and there are so many ways to give to someone. If you are speaking words of God, if you are speaking words of abundance and making it a part of someone's growth, you are being a part of giving as well. So think of ways you can give and try to do that from a place of abundance. So you need to give in a way that fulfills you, give in a way that makes you happy, give in a way that fuels you with joy, with excitement, with the good feelings, right? So this will balance your equation of giving. Now you can focus further on receiving, which will further create a balance in both receiving and giving, which will create a flow in your life. Can I tell you something interesting? You have already balanced your equation of receiving by opening yourself to God, by opening yourself to the concept of receiving, by believing that it is possible for you, and by communicating your desires to the divine source. So that balances that equation out, and the other side of your equation is balanced by helping others and giving to others. So as this equation balances, you become an energetic match to receive. The other thing you can do once you know that you are balanced is to speak the affirmation to receive every single day. The affirmation that you can use to enhance that energy of receiving is to tell yourself, I'm open to receive in all and every way that is aligned to my highest good. Speak to yourself, tell yourself, I am open to receive in all and every ways that is for my highest good. And speak these words of affirmation, of receiving every single day in your prayers and in your meditation. Once you've done that, the next thing that you need to do is to stay in the state of have already received your desires. What emotions are you going to feel if you have already received and manifested your desires? So it's important for you to stay in the frequency of having already manifested those desires and completely surrender it to the divine. Just say your affirmations and stay in the reality where you have already manifested your desires, and express your gratitude every single day to have manifested those desires. As simple as this process sounds, the impact it can have in your life is immense. I hope this video was able to provide you with value. If it did, do like and subscribe. If you haven't already, become a part of the Abundance Queen community, and do mention down in the comments below which concept of receiving was the most mind-blowing concept to you. And until next time, peace, much love, and please keep on creating your inner abundance. Bye.